Right. In my exercise, what I have given, I have asked you to input your full name and then display. After getting the full name, I have asked you to convert that to name with initials and display that. So this is okay when name is known. We have done that. Name is known, name is familiar. So when you can see name has this number of characters, this number of portions like middle name, last name, likewise, how many portions in the name. So likewise, if you identify that, it is easy. But in programming, we can't predict what is the user input. Because if I enter my name, it is Dasun, Nilanjana, Sirimevan, I have 3 parts. If you enter your name, maybe you have 2 parts. If another person enter their name, so maybe, okay, let's say Disanayaka Mudyansela Amila Sampat Disanayaka. So then you have Disanayaka Mudyansela Amila Sampat Disanayaka, then 5 parts in the name. So likewise, the name can be lengthier. So sometimes name can be shorter. Steve Jobs, only 2 parts, S Jobs. Mark Zuckerberg, Mark and the Zuckerberg, only 2 parts. So the name can be short, name can be long. So it can be vary, depend on the culture, depend on the country, depend on the ethnic group. So we cannot predict what kind, because, so think about Mark Zuckerberg, when Mark Zuckerberg developed Facebook, and his team, Mark Zuckerberg and his team, when they have developed Facebook, so they don't know what kind of names, what kind of usernames will be like used by the user. But how they have developed that system, it is supporting even Sri Lanka, even Australia, even Canada, it's supporting even India. Any name will be taken, will be treated similar way. So their system is developed in such a way. So any input can be catered. So when we are creating our system, it should alter cater, it should alter support any kind of name. So let's take the input. I'm going to take the input, enter full name. And I'm going to save that full name into a variable called nm. Nm is getting the full name, that will be saved there. Then initials. Initials empty. Nothing is there in the initial stage. But later, when you move character by character, you can calculate this. For, let's say, for letter, or for just letter in, or you can use any variable. I'm using letter, a variable named letter in this nm. So what you need to do for letter in nm, you can just, okay, otherwise let's do for letter in range, length of nm. You are going to repeat this, letter in range, length of nm. Let's print the letter, and also print the nm, the particular letter index. So you know, list can be accessed, or any string can be accessed in this way. So this letter in range, for I in range, let's say for I in range, length of mn. If I print I, it will print the number starting from 0 to length of the name. So then if I try to get the nmi, so it will give the character. So let's run this. First of all, let's run this. And you can see, enter full name, I'm entering my name. You can see 0 is D, 1 is A, 2 is S, likewise it's printed all the indexes and all the values. Index in front of that, the value or the letter will be printed. So this has 25 letters. My name has 25 letters, but since it is starting from 0, it's printing from 0 to 24. Okay, first of all, try this code. Then let's do the next part after this. First of all, let's try to print the name indexes as well as the name characters. Okay, do this quickly. Then, right, this part is done. Then how can we collect the initials? For sure, the 0th letter, D, is initial. So that can be taken. You can start like this. You can say initials equal current initials, which is empty, plus NM0, because you know NM0 is definitely initial, right? Or directly you can say initials equal NM0, because any name, the first character will be initial. After that, to that you can add dot and space. For any name, at least there should be one initial, right? Because anyone having like this first name and last name, anyone got this now. So then in all the websites, the first name, last name thing is that is globally available. So you can get the 0th character for sure. The next character, I'm doing something like this. So the next character here, the next initial comes after the space. The next initial should come after the space. Whatever the character come after the space is initial, right? That is the pattern. So after space, the 5th place is space, then the 6th place is the next initial. So you can, so if this name has multiple parts, the 15 is the space, then 16 should be initial. So likewise, you can collect the initials. Okay, to do that, I'm checking this. If I is equal to space, the next is immediate character. Actually, not I, NMI, right? Sorry. NMI is equal to space. Surely, you can say initials equal initials plus NMI plus 1. The next character will be initial. And after that, you need to add a dot and space. Finally, after running this code, running this for loop, you can print the initials. So let's see whether it has captured all the initials in a given name. Okay, first of all, I'm trying to enter my name. It has taken D, N, and S here. D, N, S. But S is not required because S is last name, right? So let's do that next stage. This stage, let's do only this part. So let me try to type a large, longer name. Okay, say Disanayaka Mudyan Selage. Let's say Don Amida Gihan Disanayaka. A long name. You can say DMDAGD. D after the space M, after the space D, after the space A, after the space G, and D next. Likewise, you can get all the initials regardless of the name, number of words, etc. You can get the. Okay, please do this now. Right now we have found all the initials, but we don't need the last two initials. Last initial and the dot. We don't need that. So we want to exclude that. You know, from any given string, a part can be selected. Can you tell me how to exclude this? So I can start from the 0th character. I can go up to which character? How can I tell? Go up to this only. Don't take these two. Here also go up to this only. Don't take these two. Last two characters need to be omitted. How can I tell here? Start with 0. For sure, you have to start with 0. End with what? What is the ending index? We learned this yesterday, right? We learned this yesterday. So what is the ending index? If it is like -1, it will go to the end. Because you know the ending index is -1, the starting index is 0. Or ending index is length of the list -1. Here also ending of length of this string or length of the list -1. So what should be the ending value here?
-1.
So if it is -1, it will go up to here. 0 to -1 when I come. -1 is this. This will exclude only the dot. Sorry, only the space. Here, space is also there. This, if you give -1, it will exclude only the space.
-3.
-2 will skip the, yeah, -3 should skip 3 characters. So let's try -3. Let's try -3 also, right? And see whether are we getting the value. So let's run it again. Now I'm going to copy this name and give. I only need D and N. Yes, I'm getting that. If I run this again, so I need DMDAG only. So let's paste this name. It's giving me DMDAG on. Okay. So this is how we think, right? This is how we have to develop our thinking skills. I know it is like tricky, but you need to think this way, right? You need to think this way. Okay, then how to get the last name? So that is the challenge. So you know the initial, when it gets the space, the last space. Okay, let's save this I. Let's save this I into some variable. Let's say C is a variable. It is saving 0 initially. And each time I get space, I'm saving that space variable. So where it is a space index I to this. And each time I'm printing this I. So let's see, I'm printing the I also. So let me run this to identify I or C, I can print anything. So I'm printing the full name. Each time I'll get space, my program is right in that index. That means 11th place, there's a space. 25th place, there's a space. 29th place, there's a space. 35th place, there's a space. 41, there's a space. 41 should be the last space, right? Are you getting my point? 41 is the last space. So similarly, if I run the code again, for this one, a shorter name, let's say a shorter name like, okay, my name is not that much shorter, but I'm going to copy that and paste here. So the first space is 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is here. Then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 is this space, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 is the next space. Actually, I need 15. 15 onwards, I need the 15 character onward. I'm saving this I here. So when the space detected, I'm saving this I to C variable. So I can finally print the C. Let's see what is the value of C. So C will hold the final value because C is updated time to time. The first time C's value is 5. The second time C's value will be 15. So the updated value after running the loop is the C's value, which is 15. Let me comment this one. I'm temporarily stopping this code and let's run this. I need this one, right? Let's run this. So C will be printed only one time. I need to check whether C is pointed to the last space. Yes, it is 15, the last space. Let's print this name now. So if it is unclear, tell me. So if I print this large name, the 41 is the last space here. I need 42 to the end, 42 to the end. So that I can do, I can add this, a space, plus from the name, NM. So 41 is the last space. So anyway, that is C is the last space. I need C plus 1 to the end. To the end. End I can keep blank, right? C plus 1 to the end. Okay, let's run this. I'm printing this now. I'm trying this one now. You can see D and Sirimevan. D and there's a space here also, so I can ignore this space is not needed. Sorry. Let's run this again. D and Sirimevan. So let's run a large name. Whether I'm getting the same results. For any kind of name, it will give the same results. Okay, let's use very short name. Bill Gates. So it is B Gates, right? See, it is working for any kind of name. Update your code. Let me know if you have difficulties. Right, then let's learn. So this exercise will give you some exposure to the this index problem, right? So let's discuss about the other things. So we have already discussed about strings, but we actually didn't explore the list, and we didn't explore the other one, which is tuple, right? But string, we have done some reasonable work. We know how to get a substring from a string. We know how to get a full string. We know how to get an index. We know how to get a range, a negative index, a positive index, a negative range, positive range, how to reverse this. Okay, all these things we have just explored. Then, so what is remaining? So I'll give this, no, not this one. So so let's explore this lists then. How lists are working, right? How lists are working, and so what is the speciality, right? Okay, list also having same behavior, same indexing pattern like strings, right? Lists are also having same indexing patterns like strings. You can see here, these are two lists. The first list is having string values, names. You can store names. The second list is having numbers. Actually, list, you can store anything in a list. Even different values are possible. So for an example, a list, let's say list called M1. I can store different values. Maybe a number, a decimal value, then let's say a string. So a Boolean value, then a scientific number, maybe a long text, a names like thing. Then another list even. Inside the list, you can store another list too. This is list inside list, right? So likewise, you can store any item in a list. Similar to the previous string method, I can access items, 0th items. So then minus one is the list. Minus one itself is a list. This is the last item, but that is also a list. Then you can say minus one's 0th item. So that is 2 here. Minus 1 means this side, this entire list. In that list, 0th item is this. So likewise, you can go list inside list also. So these are possibilities about a list. Okay. So list of same type is more common, but list of different types, different items can also be there. And let's learn. Here you can see this is a mixed list. A different type of items can be stored in a list. So to add item into the list, you can use append method. Add items into the list, you can use append method. Okay, appending. Appending can be used to add new items. Here, let me show how can I append. Okay, this list, let's say I want to append item to the end of the list. I can say m1.append So let's append 90. And when you print M1 list, you can see 90 will be the last item. And you can append to the list inside the list also. So that is like you can append M1 minus 2. Minus 2 is this one. M1 minus 2 is this one. And to that I can append 90. Then what will happen? If I print that, you can see 90 will be inside this side, inside this side. Okay. Okay, then removing items. That is not there here, but anyway, remove method can be used to remove items. You can say M1 dot remove. Let's try to remove 2. So you can see it's giving error because 2 is not there in the list, but it is here. So it is not browsing that item, right? So if you want to remove that, you have to say M1's minus 2 is the second last item. From that, remove 2, that can be done. Then you can see if you print this list, the 2 is removed from here. Or if you want to remove that, actually, so you can give some, like let's say you want to remove hello, so that can be given M1 dot remove hello. So capital symbol matters, right? Then hello will be removed. Now you cannot see hello there. So likewise, appending and removing to the list can be done. Adding and removing item to the list. Okay, so let's try to iterate through the list. I can use for loop for item in M1. You can say print the item. So that is to get the item printed. You can see these are the items in the list. Or you can use for item in range M1, a length of M1. Item in range, length of M1, print the item, then it is printing the item index. Printing the item index. But if you need item and both, so you can say M1, then you can give the index inside M1 item, and so that will print the item index and item both. So these are the ways of iterating through the lists. Okay, I have discussed few things, right? So yeah, yes, we have stopped here. Can you try to implement this part here to here? Please try. Let's see. Okay, let's do small exercise again because to confirm whether you understood this concept. So this is needed, right? This actually, so now you can see we are doing a lot of practices. So earlier days, we have to focus more on theories, but so gradually we need to do more practicals, more exercises, because the things that we understood need to be tested. Testing frequently. It's like if you can do this along, so mostly I still see you need support, but that doesn't matter with your age. So you are doing perfectly well. Don't think that you are not getting these points in the first time itself. Yes, that is the nature. That is the nature of programming. So think about how you walk in when you born, how did you work? So this, just think about that. So you didn't work at the first instant. So there are people, there are animals doing that, right? I think you have seen some animals are doing that. So just born animals can walk. And similarly, there are some special human beings can do such things. So there are some recorded things, like if animals can do, definitely human beings can do the same, but due to some adaptations and due to some evolutions, so it can be vanished from us, right? Because we are also like other animals when we start, like before the evolution part. So there was a situation that, so according to the evolution, so we were like similar to monkeys. So when monkeys born, like I have seen some species, they can walk at least few steps. They can like it can walk few steps at least. So likewise, so but normally in the normal circumstances, so walking, once you born, walking accurately, it cannot be there for human beings, right? So that is in the normal circumstances, not in a special situations. Normal situations, if a baby just born and start walking, is something supernatural. It's not natural, something supernatural. So similarly, so if I ask you to code, you are doing this at the first instant by immediately you are implementing that. That can be something supernatural. But there are some students doing like that. But considering your age, the level that you understand and the level that you try is considerably okay. But you can improve. You can always improve that. So let's do this exercise and see whether can you implement. Like I'll give you 3 questions. So I need you to implement at least one. Okay. So the questions are these. So please write down. Okay. Okay, please write down this question. Write a program to add 10 numbers, add 10 inputs to a list. Iterate through the list after all 10 inputs and find the total, average, maximum, and minimum. Write a program. Write a program to add 10 inputs to a list. Iterate through the list after all 10 inputs and find the total. Total means the sum of all the elements in the list and the average, maximum, and the minimum. And you can see here declaring empty list. How to declare empty list? Either you can use this empty brackets or you can declare like marks equal list and just normal brackets. This way you can declare empty list. And to add the items, you can use this code. I have given these tips. Use these tips. You need to add 10 items. After that, find the total, find the average, find the minimum, find the maximum. At least try to find the total after entering these 10 elements. Okay, I'll give you 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Just give a try. So
yes,
this is not simple. This is not like simply one line code. You have to construct the program. That means you have to write the program step by step. So first of all, you have to declare empty list. So that can be done this way. Marks equal maybe empty list. Okay, then for, because you need 10 items, you can say for in range 10. Then you are repeating 10 times. You can say marks, or before append, actually you need to input that. X equal, let's say input int input. You need numbers now. Int input, let's say enter a number. Input enter a number. Then you can say this marks dot append. This X item, sorry, item X. This need to be done 10 times. I hope this is clear to you, right? Is it? right? Reading codes is one
Yeah.
thing, but like, so then enter a number, let's say enter first number. This will happen like 10 times. This will display to you 10 times because it's a loop. So it will ask 10 numbers. Okay. So now if you print a marks list, you can see those 10 items are there in the list. Now what you need to do, now you need to go one by line, sorry, not line by line. Now you need to access the item for M in marks. You can print M and with space. So this will print all the items in the list. But I need what? I need to add these items together. I need to add these items together. Now try. I have done the first part for you. Now try the remaining. Right, let's find the total first. So you can say initially total equals 0, right? Because no items are there in the total. But you can iterate through the item. You can go item by item. How? You can say for, let's say K in marks. Then you can add that to the total. Total equal the total plus the current total plus the kth item. You can repeatedly add this 10 times. For K in marks means it will happen 10 times, right? For all the elements, this will happen. What you are going to do is adding that to the total, and finally, and each line you can print the total. Let's say I'm printing this in each line, right? After adding, I'm printing the total. So let's run this now. I'm entering 10 marks. First of all, I have to enter 10 marks. Okay, you can see the first one is 45. 45 plus 65 will be 110. 110 plus 33 is 143. 143 plus 45 is 188. Likewise, the final total is 563. Actually, you can print the final total if you indent this the other way. So because you are in, this is inside the loop, that is why total is printed 10 times. But if it is outside the loop, that means if you outdent, like if you like without indenting, if you remove that indent, so this is outside the for loop. You can say total is, even you can say with a message, total is the total. So similarly, I invite you to find the average and minimum and the maximum. So this is just doing some exercises and studying that. You can see the total is 581. Did you understand how I have done that?
Yes.
So why you think that you cannot think about, like you can think and code? So what's the issue? Maybe still you have not practiced, right? So what you need to do is you have to understand, practice these things. So you can watch the videos, because I'm uploading each of these videos back to my channel, because then you can watch it again, and any interesting party can watch it again. So that is why I'm putting that to YouTube. You can just Google with my name, Dasun Nilanjana, and learn ICT. If you Google like this, you will get my channel as the first result. Dasun Nilanjana, learn ICT. If you search like this, you will get this channel. So then when you go inside, you can see a lot of tutorials. Most of the tutorials are in Sinhala language, but so closer to half, 50% of the tutorials are in English language too. You can just use the searching facility here, not in the top, not the search here, but you can search this search. You can use this search and search for Python. And then you search for Python, you can see there are videos. So some are related to A-level ICT, but there are videos related to English medium, and there are videos related to your course too, right? So there are a lot of videos. That's why you have to like scroll down a lot. So closer to, I think in Python, there are closer to 200 videos, but don't watch all the videos. You will end up with being crazy. So because these are for different syllabuses. So if you are studying from the beginning, what you can do is you can just study the relevant video. You can either sort by the date. Sort by the date and you can find related videos or the recorded videos recently. So using that, you can watch the video again and redo these activities. When you redo these activities, you can understand this very well. But practicing is necessary. So in your childhood, for walking also you did practicing. So there are like number of times you fall. You can ask from your mother. You can ask from your mom or father. How many times did I fall? When I start walking, how many times did I fall? They cannot even remember. That is large number of times. So that is how the practicing, even in driving, you need to do practicing. So there are a lot of failures. After the failures only, the success will come. So don't expect success in the first instant. Therefore, try to fail. So similar to that, who invented the bulb? The person, cannot remember the name. Thomas Alva Edison, right? Hello?
Thomas Edison.
Yeah, Thomas Edison, yeah, he's the person invented, but he was telling, so before the successful invention, in his story, he's telling that he failed several times, closer to 1,000 times he failed. So what he was telling, I didn't fail, but I learned 999 ways of failing. That is how he is, that is how positive he is. Yeah, you can see. I didn't fail, but I learned 999 methods of failures. 999 failure methods. I learned that. So after that only he got success. Similarly, I don't ask you to fail 999 times, but at least you can fail few times and learn. Okay, do this exercise at home. Try to find the total average. So not total is already discovered. Try to find the average, minimum and the maximum. Okay, you have 1 week of time. Please do that activity. Try to fail. And that failures will ultimately give the success. Okay, then good night. See you next day. Bye. Sorry, have a nice day. So bye. Okay.